Hey everybody, it's the Dreamer's Edge podcast starring
Nicholas. I do research in astronomy.
Eric, I'm a teacher.
Chris, I'm an editor.
And I'm Dimitri, webmaster of thedreamersedge.com and movie critic for Belito.com and Askman.com. And today we're doing the Oscar thing, dubbed Oscar Whiners 2011. So let's start right away with actress in a leading role. Annette Bening, The Kids Are Alright, Nicole Kidman, Rabbit Hole, Jennifer Lawrence, Winter's Bone, Natalie Portman, Black Swan, Michelle Williams, Blue Valentine. Eric, who do you think is going to get it and who do you wish would get it?
I think Annette Bening might get it just because she's been there for a while. I'd like Natalie Portman to get it. I've been hearing a lot of good things about Black Swan, and just because she's hot. I just want to see her on stage.
I thought you were going to end that sentence there, like, I just want her.
Yeah.
I think Annette Bening's actually going to get passed by. Natalie Portman seems to have the momentum, at least from the websites I've been looking at.
You did research?
Well, no, just,
Cheater.
He just looks at her website.
Exactly. It's like my random Natalie Portman, where are you now search. So I have a feeling she's going to do really well, but the person I'd like to win is Jennifer Lawrence. Winter's Bone really impressed me. Completely understated acting.
Yeah, we mentioned before recording, Chris and I were probably going to end up with a lot of the same picks, and this is one of those situations right there. Yes, I want Jennifer Lawrence to win. I think Winter's Bone was excellent, and I think she completely and totally drives that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's Natalie Portman's to lose. I think it's practically in her hands already.
Yeah.
See, that's funny. Not having seen any of these movies, it's hard for me to believe that Natalie Portman and Michelle Williams actually know how to act.
Natalie Portman? Really?
Yeah, I've seen her in Star Wars.
That's it?
Yeah.
You haven't seen The Professional?
I've seen her, but she was young. It's easy to act when you're young.
No, she was amazing.
What, it's easy to act when you're young? Really? And you've seen Star Wars, and you said it's easy to act when you're young. Am I getting this straight?
Yes.
So Anakin Skywalker in episode 1 totally did it for you, huh?
No, she just wasn't putting the effort into it.
Did you watch the movie Closer?
What do you mean?
Like closer
No, the
to
movie is
screen?
called Closer.
No, I have not seen No, I haven't seen that movie either. But yeah, if I want to beat you guys, I have to choose differently anyway. So I'm going to go with Annette Bening. She seems all right.
Oh, no.
And so are the kids. Alright, let's move on. Actor in a leading role. Javier Bardem, beautiful. Jeff Bridges, True Grit. Jesse Eisenberg, The Social Network. Colin Firth, The King's Speech. And James Franco, 127 Hours.
Alright, I'll jump in on this one. I watched Beautiful a little while ago. It was good, but it didn't leave me with much to say about it. I don't know. 127 Hours was amazing, but a little bit too art housey. I really think Jeff Bridges in True Grit probably deserves it, but it's too close to what he did last year for Crazy Heart. So I think it's probably going to be Jesse Eisenberg, The Social Network. He could have been, the pale shadow of Michael Cera, but he's really stepped out. He's,
It's funny because he's been the pale shadow of Michael Cera for so long, and I have a feeling after The Social Network, Michael Cera is going to be the pale shadow of Jesse Eisenberg.
And I think he's now going to be able to choose his roles. He really just came across as amazing right from the first scene. And I loved him.
Yeah, I think Colin Firth is going to win this. I'm fairly confident. It's just a movie that attracts the Oscars' attention, and the Academy likes to reward careers like Colin Firth has had. That's been there for a while, very commercial, and slowly inching towards more artsy movies. And he has with this, performance that allows him to stretch. And he had one last year as well for
Single Man.
Single Man?
A Single Man, yeah.
Solitary Man.
Single Man.
Single Man?
Yeah.
Okay, Single Man. Anyway, he had that, and frankly, I thought he deserved a lot of attention for that role, so they're probably going to give it to him this time around.
Yeah, I kind of think that Colin Firth is going to win. It's that kind of typical Oscar film, Like, it feels a little bit like The English Patient.
Yeah, I can see that.
It feels like that kind of epic movie at a specific time. We like to see that, and where everything gets together.
Yeah, the thing with The King's Speech is that it should practically have been renamed We Want an Oscar. Because seriously, it's that sort of movie.
I actually like Jeff Bridges as an actor, but you tell me he won last year. They're not going to give him 2 in a row.
They did to Tom Hanks.
For different parts, though. I don't know.
Well,
Close
Tom
to-
Hanks was gay, then he was mentally challenged, so...
Okay.
Are you saying there's a link between the two? Because I'm kind of uncomfortable with this.
If you play
He said different
if you play a
roses.
gay man that's mentally challenged, that's climbing a mountain, Oscar.
I'm going to go with James Franco. It's a one-man show, so he has to be good for the movie to be good, so I would see him as that.
As a presence, he really is everywhere this year. I think he published his book of short stories. He's had his art collection. It was this year he was on General Hospital.
Was he?
It would be kind of neat if he did get something, because it would be kind of just almost a nod to, okay, here's a guy who's willing to try things.
Yeah.
I
And he's hosting as well.
Yeah,
That's true.
So he could rig it somehow.
All right, moving on. Actress in a supporting role: Amy Adams, The Fighter; Melissa Leo, The Fighter; Elena Bonham Carter, The King's Speech; Haley Steinfeld, True Grit; Jackie Weaver, Animal Kingdom. I think Melissa Leo is going to win it, and I actually think she should win it. She's one of these female character actors that doesn't get a lot of attention because she really embodies the characters every time. And this year she's finally getting attention, and I think, it's the sort of thing where it's just like a 15-minute window where she can actually get an award, and I think they're going to use that window to reward her, and she certainly deserves it.
Okay. I don't know. I think Haley Steinfeld should get it for True Grit. I think she was 13 when she did the part. She was playing a 14-year-old girl, and she steals the stage every time she's there. She's pretty much, to call her a supporting character in this one is a joke. She's in almost every single scene. And she's amazing.
So she managed to play that extra year there.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, just that little bit more maturity. It's just very subtle.
Yeah. 13 to 14.
And Animal Kingdom, I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but it's really worth picking up. I think it just came out on DVD. But I don't think Jackie Weaver is going to get the attention for it. I don't think enough people have actually seen the movie.
Mm.
Yeah, I kind of think that maybe Haley might win it. Elena Bonham Carter, I mean, she's like the ultimate homewrecker in a sense. Like, oh, you haven't heard? Like, she's notorious for having like on-stage romance with a whole bunch of married guys, and often they.
I thought she was Tim Burton's life partner.
Yeah, now she is.
Well, she's been for a while though. Then.
Yeah,
Okay.
but before that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I've heard a lot of amazing things about Steinfeld. Steinfeld.
He just wanted to throw that Helen Carter thing like completely sideways. Yeah, she's a whore. Let's talk about something else now.
Yeah. I know things about Hollywood.
So I'm going to go for Bonham Carter, King's Speech.
Yeah, right.
Because she's a homewrecker. I think she deserves it.
They do reward homewreckers. Angelina Jolie got some attention. Alright, moving on to actor in a supporting role. We have Christian Bale, The Fighter; John Hawkes, Winter's Bone; Jeremy Renner, The Town; Mark Ruffalo, The Kids Are Alright; and Jeffrey Rush, The King's Speech.
Jeremy Renner for The Town, I didn't realize he was nominated. I think he was great, though. And I don't think The Town is nominated for anything else. But if anyone deserves it, I'm going to go back to Winter's Bone. I think John Hawkes should get it here.
And who do you think will win?
The person I think is probably going to be Christian Bale. I haven't seen The Fighter, but I've heard that he's pretty amazing in the role.
The Fighter is an average screenplay, to be honest. It's a little bit formulaic. That's elevated by just astounding performances, not the least of which was his. And for that reason, I think he's going to win. And again, I think he deserves it. I'm going to put my vote for him as well.
Has he won anything else?
Nope.
I think he was nominated when he was a kid for Empire of the Sun.
Yes, he was.
Okay. So I could see him winning it for sure.
No, I agree. I think he might win. I really like Mark Ruffalo. I think he's an amazing actor. But I agree with you, Chris. Jeremy Renner. Like, I loved him in The Town. Like, in The Town is one of those movies that, you want to like more than you do, but at the same time, like, it's not that high.
It was almost a bubblegum film.
Yeah.
But I think he's got a great future in front of him.
Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's very talented as a director.
I actually appreciated the fact that he avoided the sort of melodrama that elevates a film to the sort of thing that would be Oscar contender.
Oh, except for that final scene.
Yeah, but like, And without going into spoilers, he takes a turn that, if it were an Oscar contender, it would have ended more like Heat, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and it
okay.
doesn't.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, yeah, I think Mark Ruffalo, I think he was great in The Kids Are All Right, but I'm sure they're going to hold off and give him the credit for The Incredible Hulk.
All right, moving on to original song. We have Coming Home from Country Song. We have I See the Light from Tangled. If I Rise from 127 Hours. And We Belong Together from Toy Story 3. I am tired of Randy Newman winning these things, but he's going to win again. Toy Story 3 is going to win, and the music sucks balls. It's the weakest part of this amazing movie. I wish Country Song would get it. I really like that.
I'm actually surprised that Daft Punk were not nominated for Tron Legacy.
Yeah, but that's for score. You're skipping ahead.
Oh. There's a song in it.
I'm right up with you, Dimitri. Like, same choices and same annoyance with Randy Newman.
Randy Newman all the way. We belong together.
I agree. Randy Newman always wins.
Yeah, it's like a Pixar movie, an animated feature. It's like, why are the other ones even there?
Exactly.
All right, music, original score, How to Train Your Dragon, Inception, The King's Speech, 127 Hours, The Social Network. And yes, I agree with you, Eric. Why is Daft Punk not there?
Yeah. No, seriously. Like, the soundtrack was the best thing of that film.
I suspect the reason they're not nominated is because they wouldn't claim the prize anyway, because they don't want to show their faces in public ever.
Yeah,
Maybe.
true. Well, they'd have a mask, right?
It would be really funny if they showed up with a crazy helmet to the...
Yeah. On TV.
It would be awesome if Banksy presented to them. My choice would be The Social Network. Inception wasn't bad, but it did kind of fade into the background. I wasn't too aware of it, but
Really?
yeah, I don't know why. But The Social Network, just some of the music really made stuff that wasn't necessarily dramatic, actually quite tense, and it was really well done.
I completely disagree with you about Inception. I actually really noticed the music.
Yeah.
And I think the music really drove a large part of the movies, because this is a movie with like a really lengthy exposition, and they made it cool by just having the in the background. Like, that's what made the exposition completely bearable and really intense. So I hope Inception gets it, and I actually think they're going to reward it, because Hans Zimmer, he's sort of become the new John Williams, and I think it's time they recognize that.
I guess I don't really pay attention that much to the score. Like, the only time that really stood out for me is, like I said, Tron, but it's not even there, so there it is.
It's a travesty, because the Tron soundtrack is outstanding.
Yeah.
There's one scene where they melded with the footsteps of the people. It's like, this is really creative stuff. I am absolutely flabbergasted that they didn't even think of just at least recognizing it.
Maybe it was a bit too techno for them.
Foreign language film. Beautiful from Mexico. Dogtooth from Greece. In a Better World, Denmark. Incendie from Canada. Outside the Law, or Hors la Loi, from Algeria.
The only one I've seen is Beautiful, and I don't think it's going to win, and I don't really want it to win. Incendie, I haven't seen, but I've heard it's amazing, and it's Canadian, so I'm going to put my weight behind that one.
Yeah.
Who is it that directed Gilles?
It's Villeneuve.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, he really is. And what's worth noting is that every Canadian movie that's been nominated for an Oscar, always Quebec.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to win as well, because Quebec has a really good track record with foreign film wins.
I don't consider French a foreign language, but I'll go with Incendie anyway.
Animated feature film. We have How to Train Your Dragon, The Illusionist, and Toy Story 3. The suspense is killing me. Which one is going to win? Pixar.
No, I agree. I did really enjoy How to Train Your Dragon. I thought it was a great film. But Toy Story was great. I thought making it Andy, the kid, older and everything, I thought it was very moving.
I agree. Toy Story 3 was just pitch perfect film. How to Train Your Dragon, by the time I finally watched it, I'd been hearing about it, and it really didn't disappoint, though. I was disappointed that I didn't get off my ass and actually watch it on the big screen. I hear that the 3D was amazing.
It was a nice turn for DreamWorks as well, moving away from the pop culture, sarcastic, cynical thing, and just, presenting us a really beautiful fairy tale told straight. Toy Story 3 is going to win because it's Pixar and it deserves it. But honestly, I wish How to Train Your Dragon would get a nod right here. If only to keep Pixar on their toes because they're starting to slum it with Cars too. And, and also to just let DreamWorks know that this is the way to go. Enough with the Shrek's 19,
I wonder if there's going to be a question of splitting the vote a little bit with people thinking that Toy Story 3, because it's in the Best Picture, might get a couple of awards there, so more people actually voting for How to Train Your Dragon.
It might actually just do like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, that people are going to say, well, it's in the animated feature film, so we're not going to vote for it in Best Picture. So
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was an animated film?
No, it was a foreign film.
Oh.
Smartass.
I was thinking the exact same thing, actually.
So I'm pretty sure he's going to win the animated feature films.
Which one?
Toy Story 3.
Oh, I thought you meant Crouching Tiger.
Can people hear the sound of me smacking you?
No.
Let's try anyway.
Ow. Moving on to the big categories, the ones that usually determine the film of the year. Film editing. Now, film editing, for those of you who don't know, there is this rule that whoever wins film editing will usually win Best Picture. There have been a couple of exceptions over the years, but by and large, you get film editing, you get the Oscar for Best Picture. And the nominees for Best Picture in that case are Black Swan, The Fighter, The King's Speech, 127 Hours, and The Social Network.
I'm going to go with The Social Network for this one, though the clips I've seen for 127 Hours, I really liked the editing style. The thing is, like you said, I don't think it's going to hold up enough attention to win Best Picture, whereas I think The Social Network might.
I think for the editing, it was really good for Social Network. It was really smooth. Just when they were having a conversation, I didn't feel like, oh, wait, go back to his face. I want to see his reaction.
My preference would be 127 hours for that. One-man shows are really hard to shoot in a way that's not boring and to edit in a way that's like, oh, okay, here's that guy's face again, And, 120...
Still stuck.
And then you reach the point where he goes coyote and wow, it is absolutely traumatizing. It is not just shot but edited and timed in a way that it's just, you're wincing and it's just the exact effect that the movie needs. And so the editing there is really powerful. So that's my favorite, but I agree with you guys. The Social Network is most likely to get it. And, it would deserve it if it won, because it's an Aaron Sorkin script. And Aaron Sorkin script, when you film them and you edit them together, it always feels like an Aaron Sorkin script. Except The Social Network. David Fincher and his editor managed to find a new angle on that sort of dialogue and beat, and that was impressive.
Well, with your explanation at the beginning, I actually think The Social Network is going to win Best Picture, so I'm going to have to follow what the experts say and go for The Social Network with film editing.
All right, so we're unanimous about that one.
Yeah.
All right, now comes my favorites. I really love these categories. We have the writing categories. And for adapted screenplay, the nominees are 127 Hours, Danny Boyle and Simon Beaufoy. The Social Network, Aaron Sorkin. Toy Story 3, Michael Arndt. True Grit, Joel and Ethan Coen. And Winter's Bone, Deborah Granick and Anne Rossellini.
I didn't realize Toy Story 3 was adapted from anything.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys that. What is it adapted from?
The video game?
It's just...
Probably the kids' book.
There's a kids' book, Toy Story 3?
No, I have no idea.
Adapted from the Disney theme park ride.
And I'm suddenly wondering, do they put all sequels as adapted because it's based on characters by?
Maybe? I don't know. Because, that's the one that sticks out. I don't understand why it's there. It's a great screenplay.
Yeah.
In terms of the actual writing, I think True Grit was just amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's a straight-on genre story by the Coen brothers, but I don't think there's a single contraction in the whole movie. And I love it for that.
No, I agree. I think the Coen brothers are really good. But definitely The Social Network's going to win that one. Aaron Sorkin has had so much heat behind the script and everything else, so... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one he's going to win, especially for writing.
One I don't know if it will win, because he's going around talking about how it's actually so factual, but it's more and more of it is coming out as being a little bit counterfactual, and it's based on the book, not an actual reality. And I think his kind of arrogant, I don't know if it's arrogant, but he came out basically saying how he's never been to Facebook. You know, it's just like, I don't know if his personality is going to rub part of it the wrong way.
I know he's had such a long career as this amazing writer and tackling political subjects, which of course the Academy loves. But I think he's going to get it anyway. In terms of my preference, though, I really liked Winter's Bone in terms of the story, and just the minimalist approach to dialogue in there is really great, and just how much of that girl's wisdom is conveyed through really short bursts of dialogue.
Yep.
For 127 hours, they basically took the guy's story of him getting his arm stuck between a rock and...
Yeah, it's based on the book, actually.
Okay. And yeah, to adapt the book to make it like a one-person movie and make it interesting, I think that's actually pretty good. So I'm going to go for 127 hours.
You know what plays against it, though? The title. You go in, you go like, wow, that's going to be a long movie. It's not at all 127 hours. False advertising, I say.
Yeah, it's like all of those dope heads that go into like a pots and stove store.
I would have gone for Never Ending Story, but okay, that's another way of going into it.
All right, writing original screenplay. We have another year. Mike Lee. The Fighter. Scott Silver, Paul Tomasi, and Eric Johnson. Inception. Christopher Nolan. The Kids Are All Right. Lisa Cholodenko and Stuart Bloomberg. And The King's Speech. David Seidler. Or Seidler. I don't know.
Yeah, The Fighter I haven't seen yet, but I thought it was actually based on a real event, so I'm surprised that one's not adapted.
I think it has to be adapted from a previous work from the same or different medium.
Inception I enjoyed. I don't know if the story itself was the strongest part of that, though.
Yeah,
I think The Kids Are All Right deserves it in this one.
The Fighter is a very standard story. It really is the performances and the directing that drives it. It is neither the slightly melodramatic and manipulative dialogue, nor the story that we've seen 100,000 times before. So I don't think The Fighter has a chance in hell. I think The King's Speech is actually going to get this one. It's very talky, and the humor is very subtle and fun, and it's the sort of humor the Academy loves. You know,
the only movie I've seen in all of these categories is Inception, and I don't think it's gonna win. There's not really any characters.
Yeah, there's one character. There's like Leo DiCaprio. That's it.
That's it. And most of it is a lot of exposition, and you go see that film for the experience of being in the dream state.
Yeah, I don't think Inception is going to win because the story was not that solid. So let's go for another year. Nobody chose that one.
All right. Directing. The nominees are for Black Swan, Darren Aronofsky; for The Fighter, David O. Russell; for The King's Speech, Tom Hooper; for The Social Network, David Fincher; and for True Grit, Joel and Ethan Coen.
I certainly don't think it's going to be True Grit. I think they've already been honored recently. I think in this one, and I think you put it well, David Fincher has a really great view of his, you know, it's going to be a David Fincher movie. It's got a look to it, and it's got a feel, and I think he's great, you know, in this one. You know, he really lends himself well to the form, and it's not a story that I thought I was really going to like, is what it came down to, but as soon as it opened up, I was like sucked into the story. Part of it is the writing for sure, but part of it is just the pace of the directing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do think David Fincher's going to win that one. And also, he's had a pretty good career. Made a lot of different types of films.
The Panic Room.
Yeah. Fight Club.
Alien Cube.
And it's kind of funny because I remember like seeing the trailers for Social Network. I was like, whatever. And when I did watch it, I really did get into the story and couldn't turn it off. So, yeah.
Just because I feel like talking about another movie.
Yeah.
Black Swan, I think, might be the black horse in this one. Yeah. Ooh. Aronofsky has made movies that the Academy has appreciated time and again. I'm not the Academy, let's just say.
What else has he done?
The Wrestler, Pie, that movie with
The Fountain.
The Fountain. Ass to Ass. There. What's the name of that movie?
Ass to Ass?
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly. Ass to Ass.
The Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream. Yes. See, when you say Jennifer Connelly, Ass to Ass, everybody knows what I'm talking about.
I didn't like the film. I like that scene though.
Everybody does. It's because Jennifer Connelly and another girl, they're doped out of their minds, and they start doing things in front of an audience. And there's this one guy in the back. It's just very memorable because he goes like, "Ass to ass, ass," and then everybody screams and like kind of like a slow clap, but with ass to ass.
Wow.
Yeah.
Best slow clap ever.
I want to see a documentary actually 10 years from now about that guy, what happened to his life. Like the ass to ass guy.
Yeah, no, I could see the directing going to Aronofsky. Anytime you get into dance, and like you're trying to capture that and, just cut it in, making it look interesting, and still telling the storyline around it. And you've got a story within a story, you know what I mean? Like you can see that it needs a strong directorial hand, and he did a really amazing job.
Yeah, and the descent into madness is actually really well calculated the way he does it. And you actually go into that dimension with a character. It's well done.
So we're going into spoilers now?
Pardon me? Well, no, it's in the trailers. Come on. The metamorphosis.
Yeah.
It's not called the White Swan.
Is this going to be Darren Aronofsky's last movie before he does The Wolverine?
Yes, it is the last movie that's going to come out before he does the Wolverine.
I have a feeling that's going to really sink his career.
You think?
I don't know.
I think it's...
Because I think he's on an interesting progression. You know what I mean? I'm not as a super big fan, but I think he's got an interesting vision, and he does make interesting movies, and I don't know.
I actually think it will do him some good. I think he has a tendency to go way too artsy and
Too dark and...
Yeah, and just too art house. Like his movies don't do well financially because they're a little bit inaccessible. So doing a movie where he'll have producers, especially the Fox producers on X-Men, hold a really tight rein on their directors, might be a good experience for him. And might be a good experience for the Fox producers too. Because they need a little bit of art in their franchise at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you finally watch The Wrestler?
Yeah, I did. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah?
It was good.
Yeah. I did not like it at all.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, look, glorifying suicide. Whoopee.
No, that's how wrestling actually is now, so it's pretty...
No, but it's just, he doesn't have problems that are that big. It's certainly not by movie standards, and then he gives up, and the music swells. It's like, isn't that beautiful that he gives up? It's like, no. I rejected the movie for it.
Well,
It's just, I didn't get into
that.
that.
He loves.
Pardon me?
He does something that he loves.
Yeah, but
And Mickey Rourke was amazing.
he was amazing in that movie. I certainly will not deny that. But no, it's just, I don't like the character. I don't like really the message of the movie that much. I don't think what he's doing is that beautiful. I think when you have a child, you know, I just don't approve of the character, and therefore I have a hard time enjoying the movie. It's just,
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I really don't want that performance to be overshadowed by his performance in Iron Man 2.
Well, you guys make good cases for Black Swan and Social Network. So I'll go with The King's Speech.
Well, fuck you.
Alright, best picture. This is the one. And once again, we got 10 categories because they didn't learn. It was really boring the last time around.
Well, we can see just the way our conversations are going. Like, we're narrowing it down to, like, 2 candidates each time, you know?
Yes.
It's just like... And the fact that there's 10, it's not going to be a surprise. You know?
I totally think Winter's Bone's going to get it.
This will be the time.
So Black Swan, The Fighter, Inception, The Kids Are Alright, The King's Speech, 127 Hours, The Social Network, Toy Story 3, True Grit, and Winter's Bone.
You know, you say it, but... You know, and I know it's not going to win it, but I would love to see Winter's Bone win. If only because we can say that last year the smaller film made it, you know, and is that maybe, I guess we can do the math and figure out how the vote gets cut and this and that, you know. But I just don't think enough people watched Winter's Bone to make that even possible. And there's none of that inherent drama of, you know, James Cameron and his ex-wife, you know.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but I don't think it's going to be The Kids Are Alright because the women won last year.
That's why? Really?
I'm going to say it right now. I think it deserves to win, but I bet you it's going to not get a vote. Just
Not one vote. Nobody is going to say.
no one ever.
Catherine Bigelow's going like, I'm going to be the only one.
No, I don't know if the Inception is going to make it, so I think it's going to be The Social Network.
Actually, can we try to identify which of these 10 are the real nominees?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I think it's Black Swan's in there.
Yeah.
I think The Kids Are Alright should be there.
All right.
The Social Network, obviously. Did you say?
No.
Oh, okay.
Social Network.
The King's Speech, I think, is in there.
Yeah.
Well, after all the nominations, yeah.
And just for the guts of doing something like the one-man show, I think 127 Hours should be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, even though I loved Inception, Best Picture, I don't know.
Back when it came out, I thought it would be, and then the Oscar movies actually came out, and I was like,
There are some really
no.
good films.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Last year I was really happy that Up was considered, but even though Toy Story 3 I loved as a film, I don't think it really deserves to be there.
No, neither do I.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish Kids Are Alright would win it, but it won't.
No.
I'm gonna go for The Social Network to take the trophy. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I was gonna say the King's Speech, but I thought the Americans were gonna vote for a king, They refused to have taxation without representation, so still think it's in their history.
I think you're giving way too much importance to
I think
It's there.
It would be a great Oscar moment if 127 Hours got it and James Franco was able to give it to himself.
No, I think Social Network's gonna win.
I hope it does.
I think it's going to win, but maybe not because it's a great movie. It's just because social networks are in right now, and it's Twitter and it's everything, so people are going to vote for it just for that reason, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. There is a certain coldness to The Social Network, though, like compared to like Winter's Bone or even.
Oh, but the characters
Kids
are
are all
jerks.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't like any of them, but I kept watching.
yeah. That's it. It's
The
but
most likable one is the Andrew Garfield character.
yeah.
And even then, he's a flawed character,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's why it didn't move me. It maybe just poked me.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I've just unfriended you.
All right. Well, on that note, in that case, if you have questions, comments, you want to share with us your preferences and predictions, mail at thedreamersedge.com, or rather, leave a comment at thedreamersedge.com on this page, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Peace. From what I hear, like, the judges are pretty old when,
The Academy is pretty old.
yeah,
It's everybody.
is it?
Yeah.
They're old.
Michelle Williams, Blue Valentine. Eric, who do you think is going to get it, and who do you wish would get it?
I think Annette Bening might get it just because she's been there for a while. I'd like Natalie Portman to get it. Like, I've been hearing a lot of good things about Black Swan, and just because she's hot. I just want to see her on stage.
I thought you were going to end that sentence there, like, I just want her.
Yeah.
I think Annette Bening's actually going to get passed by. Natalie Portman seems to have the momentum, at least from the websites I've been looking at.
You did
I-
research?
Well, no, just,
Cheater.
He just looks at her website.
Exactly. It's like my random Natalie Portman, where are you now search. So I have a feeling she's going to do really well, but the person I'd like to win is Jennifer Lawrence. Winter's Bone really impressed me. Completely understated acting.
Yeah, we mentioned before recording, Chris and I were probably going to end up with a lot of the same picks, and this is one of those situations right there. Yes, I want Jennifer Lawrence to win. I think Winter's Bone was excellent, and I think she completely and totally drives that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's Natalie Portman's to lose. I think it's practically in her hands already.
Yeah.
See, that's funny. Not having seen any of these movies, it's hard for me to believe that Natalie Portman and Michelle Williams actually know how to act.
Natalie Portman? Really?
Yeah, I've seen her in Star Wars.
That's it?
Yeah.
You haven't seen The Professional?
I've seen her, but she was young. It's easy to act when you're young.
Hey everybody, it's the Dreamer's Edge podcast, starring...
Nicholas, I do research in astronomy.
Eric, I'm a teacher.
Chris, I'm an editor.
And I'm Dimitri, webmaster of thedreamersedge.com and movie critic for Belito.com and Askman.com. And today we're doing the Oscar thing, dubbed Oscar Whiners 2011. So let's start right away with actress in a leading role. Annette Bening, The Kids Are Alright, Nicole Kidman, Rabbit Hole, Jennifer Lawrence, Winter's Bone, Natalie Portman, Black Swan, Jeff Bridges, True Grit, Jesse Eisenberg, The Social Network, Colin Firth, The King's Speech, and James Franco, 127 Hours.
All right, I'll jump in on this one. I watched Beautiful a little while ago. It was good, but it didn't leave me with much to say about it. I don't know. 127 Hours was amazing, but a little bit too art housey. I really think Jeff Bridges in True Grit probably deserves it, but it's too close to what he did last year for Crazy Heart. So I think it's probably going to be Jesse Eisenberg, The Social Network. You know, he could have been, the pale shadow of Michael Cera, but he's really stepped out. He's,
It's funny because he's been the pale shadow of Michael Cera for so long, and I have a feeling after The Social Network, Michael Cera is going to be the pale shadow of me.
No, she was amazing.
It's easy to act when you're young, really? And you've seen Star Wars, and you said it's easy to act when you're young. Am I getting this straight?
Yes.
So Anakin Skywalker in Episode 1 totally did it for you, huh?
No, she just wasn't putting the effort into it.
Did you watch the movie Closer?
What do you mean?
No.
like closer
No, the
to
movie is
screen?
called Closer.
No, I have not seen. No, I haven't seen that movie either. But yeah, if I want to beat you guys, I have to choose differently anyway. So I'm going to go with Annette Bening. She seems all right.
Oh, no.
And so are the kids. Alright, let's move on. Actor in a leading role. Javier Bardem, beautiful.